just one drama after another that you would expect from Mozza being abroad. You know that idiot abroad thing? We're renaming it Mozza Abroad because it's just one thing after another at the moment. Another French adventure was planned. The big road trip, the huge landscapes and being in the wilderness. Then finished off perfectly with hectic action, big boat battles and giant carp. Sounds simple, doesn't it? However, things don't always go to plan, especially in my world. And that's the case for the start of this trip. You think, oh, this trip can't get any worse. It can only get better from now on in, then that happens. As is often the way on these European adventures, it was an early start. With the van loaded, we set off for the day and hit the road. France, baby! For this trip, I've got my son with me, Lewyn, and the plan was to catch him his first ever French carp. Excitement levels were high and we arrived at the first choice of venue only to be greeted with the first problem of the trip. Anglers. It was extremely busy with most of the night zones already occupied and even a bivvy boat bang in the middle of a prime area right in front of the barrage. Not ideal. We then spotted a gap in between a few anglers further down the lake, only to then see someone boating straight into it just as we were unloading the van. The next option was an area that looked free. We spotted a car in this zone, so we headed round there and managed to drive right up behind the swim. With the sun setting, it was a great starting point and I couldn't resist getting the rods out. Using the bait boat to position 6 of the rods in the deep water just after a huge weed bed close in. Ideal. I sat down that night thinking we actually have a good chance of these busting off. Well, bust off they did. So we got one still in the pond. This one went with a whitefish or a giant roach, whatever you want to call it, an annoying thing, we'll call it that. That one went with a swan. Lewyn's other one went with a whitefish, giant thing he was, and the other one went with a pike angler this morning. So we're having a lovely time here at the minute. Absolutely beautiful. Welcome to France. And yeah, it would appear that there's a lot of people that like coming in and out of this area. There's boats obviously scattered about the bank as well. Lovely morning, but not seen a lot. Like, it's flat calm out there and you would see absolutely, you can see for hundreds and hundreds of yards, and if a carp showed out there, you would definitely see it. And I haven't seen anything. Yeah, at the moment I'm a little bit undecided. I would like to be able to see something to go off of, because at the moment all I'm seeing is pike anglers and carp anglers everywhere. So we've got a decision to make. We either get out of here or we commit to this swim. I would like to think there's bites to be had the other side of this weed here, but can we keep rods in the water with the amount of predator anglers that are here? It's all a bit undecided, basically. That's what I'm trying to get at the minute. It's all undecided, and yeah, we'll assess the situation when something happens. Something happens. You had to repeat yourself then, idiot. Nothing worse than a steaming kettle. I hate a steaming kettle, just screaming away. Just like, oh, I absolutely hate it. It's a bit like when you go to McDonald's and you're ordering your McDonald's and they're like that. Anything else? Oh, yeah, I'll have a double cheeseburger. Anything else? Yeah, I'll have anything else? I'll tell you anything else when I finish my order. It's just like a steaming kettle. It's like, I can't anything else. Save the anything else for when I come and get me meal and then I want some sauce. Then you get, then go, anything else? Yeah, I'd like a couple of ketchups, please. Never say it then, did I? You go, here you go. Ugh. The The rest of the morning was quiet with absolutely nothing seen. It was time for a move. With the shallow water at the other end of the lake looking free, we headed down there for a look. Boys, this ain't the one. They're not here. We're going to sit here and blank for the week if we come in here. So it was back onto the road heading to another reservoir in the region. Once again there were anglers all in the night zones, and to make it even worse we were pipped to the post by minutes as someone was just unloading their kit into the last 3 night zones just as we had arrived. As frustrating as it was, we knew we just had to keep looking, keep travelling and put in the effort. As there were so many waters to choose from, there must be a lake that isn't as busy. Then we found it. With gin clear water, snags, and the best bit of all, it was empty. It's just busy everywhere, like mentally busy. And then we've come to the last lake that's in this region, and just before we got here we had a quick look at one of the canals. Looked amazing, but nothing along there at all. Didn't see any fish to fish for. And then we've come here and no one's here, which, considering the last 2 lakes we've been to, has been absolutely ramo of carp anglers. I'm thinking this is shut, something's wrong, something isn't right here. Well, luckily for us, as we were pulling up, the guard were there and flagged him down. Any chance of fishing? Carpfish? Ah, yes, yeah. I'm like, really? I'm like, surely he was gonna say no, but yeah, we can carpfish and no one's here. It looks absolutely amazing, so we've got to have a go at it, at the very least for the next couple of nights. Now the other issue is gonna be how we get to the kit, to the swim that we're at the moment, because the boat launches are on that side of the lake, the night fishing is on this side of the lake. Is that why people aren't fishing it? Maybe it's difficult to get your kit into the swim. Who knows, that might be why people were put off from fishing it, or it's because there's not many carp in it. We'll find out, I'm sure. So this is going to be us for at least the next couple of nights. Well, to be honest, we've got nothing else to go on. It's going to be a whole heap of dramas, I'm sure, but we'll deal with it when we learn. You can do it all. Yeah. That's what you're here for, eh? Yeah. Right, let's get a kit, let's get into the swim, let's catch some carps. Getting the kit to the swim was a mission. Walking the kit from the van, down the embankment, into the boats, then to boat down into the night zone. Once again, by the time I'd looked at getting the rods out, it was already dark. But a couple were boated out and then we got our heads down, ready to sort them out properly in the morning. Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir. Good morning. It is definitely a coffee morning this morning, and well, as you can see behind me, I thought, right, well the plan is this is only really the bivvy area on this night zone that's not like that. I thought what I'll do is I'll cut some of these trees out, or these little bushes, these little spindly bushes, I'll cut them out so that we can at least get 4 rods, or maybe hopefully 5, 6, 7 rods out in front of this swim. Well, them little spindly bushes are in 10 foot of water. So just like, why are they in 10 foot of water? So cutting them out isn't really going to happen, to be honest. It'd be an absolute nightmare to do, but you know, I would have got round it anyway. As I dropped the rods last night, yeah, the margins are 33 foot deep. So like the pressure at the minute is 1021 and in the edge it's 33 foot. Now that ain't really ideal, to be honest. So we're packing up and we're going somewhere else. So we've now got all the stuff that we did last night. Obviously we'd put everything in the boats to stay here for the rest of the trip. Not happening. We're just going to waste our lives away in here and no doubt blank. So we're now going to move to another venue, which I'm hoping will be the one, fingers crossed. It's only about an hour away from where we are at the moment, so, and it's day fishing only, which I'm hoping will make it less busy. So that's the plan. Get all the kit back in the boats. We are going to boat it. I'm not going back up that mountain again to get rid of all the kit. We're going to boat across the pond to the boat lodge, get the van loaded, get out of it, get to the new venue, get some rods fishing, because at the moment we've been here 2 nights, 3 days, and I think we fished for about 10 hours. So, film's going great. So, I don't know, you know, you got to laugh, ain't you? It's just one of them things, I guess. Hopefully that's all the drama's out the way from now on in. So that'll be 4th time lucky, I think's the saying. 4th time lucky, well, 4.5 times lucky, because we have been to a canal as well, but we didn't get any rods out there. So 4.5 times lucky.
Once I got Lewyn out of bed, we loaded the boats and I travelled across the lake with both of them so that we could use the boat launch on the other side. Thankfully, all was fine. And it was back on the road once again. At this point, I could have driven home, but all we needed was one bite to make this worthwhile, and I was sure we would get our chance. That's 2 good meals I've had in France now. Burger King. Which isn't normally that good. We got to the next lake, and after a quick look, we finally found an area that was empty and looked absolutely ideal.
4.5 venue then. That makes sense. Work it out amongst yourselves. But this is looking good. The fact that we've got a swim near a barrage as well is what I've been looking for really this whole trip, to be honest. Now there was a Dutch van in front of us, and Dutch are my friends, obviously. If you'd have seen last year's video, we get on well. I thought, I know what's going to happen here. He's going to pull straight into the swim that we want to go in. And he didn't, which was ideal. So yeah, this could be us for the rest of the trip, maybe. Now it's day fishing only, so we're going to be up against it, obviously, getting up early, get the rods out. Are we going to get rods out today? Very doubtful, because obviously we can't fish tonight. So yeah, I think it's a case of get set up, get plotted up, get all the rods and everything ready today. But yeah, we've got a few things to get done today, so the rest of the day is probably lost now, fishing wise. But as long as we get everything ready, everything in position, ready for tomorrow morning, then we'll be 2 very happy anglers, wouldn't we, Lewyn? What are you saying? Do you think this is where you're going to get a fish?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. He's hopeful, he is. I'm hopeful as well, mate. Fingers crossed this happens for you.
Yeah, boy.
There's a lot of water out there. Yeah, could be tough, could be easy, could be anything at the moment. What would be nice is to see one, but the benefit we've got is obviously this wind hacking down to this zone. So you'd like to think that this is where they're going to be. Right, let's get everything ready then. So the van's not very far away from us either. It's just behind us here, which is ideal, absolutely ideal. It's what we've been looking for this trip really, is to be fishing out the van nice and easy. But still, we've got to come down these concrete steps and all that jazz, get everything into the swim and get ready for tomorrow's antics. Even though I said I wasn't going to put rods out, I just couldn't help myself. So we've quickly hooned the boat out there, the old trusty RT7, and yeah, we're just going to drop it out there in the middle somewhere. So yeah, just going to get him out there, couple of rods out just whilst we're getting set up basically. I've got tigers and boilies in one part of the hopper, and then we've got just tigers in the left-hand hopper. So we're double dropping. When a right old party up we are. You wouldn't know what that is. And good, if you do know, you're in trouble. that's the day over. So, because it's obviously day fishing only, you get an hour after sunset. And yeah, we're going to get these in, get up early and start fishing properly for this trip, which we haven't done at all from the get-go, to be honest. This would be the third night. Is this our third night out here, Lewyn? Yeah, it is our third night tonight, yeah, and we still haven't had a proper day's fishing yet, so yeah, we'll get these in, get up early and go at it. Boat's blown up, everything is ready to rock and roll. We've got the rods ready here as well. What I'm going to be going in with is the bollocks rig, which I know, oh God, the bollocks rig again, it works, you know, and there's a lot of tension here as well. So yeah, I say I'm going in with the bollocks rig. I'm going in with that on 2 of the rods, and then the other 2, I'm going in with Tigers. So they're both on multi-rigs. One multi-rig slightly different than the other. We'll get into all of the rigs and all that jazz when they start working. But in the meantime, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for, really. Now, we heard a couple out here last night, heard a couple of big uns as well. And then we heard a few this morning, but very difficult to sort of see exactly where they were at in the pond. But they were somewhere out in front of us. So gonna get out there, get in the boat, obviously with the echo sounder, see if we can see anything, you know, that's a bit of a difference out there. And what I mean by that is I've been told that it's very barren out there, so we're looking for any sort of depressions, even if that's a couple of inches, you know, that can be all the difference. And then we'll put 2 halo poles out there and basically fill it in. Now, I've just brought the switch with me, boilie wise, and then I've got Tigers, hemp, and some like monkey sick stuff. So that's what we're gonna go in with. Now, I'm gonna put a big spread of boilies out there, and then over the top of the rig, a little bit of monkey sick and a little bit of hemp and Tigers right over the top of where the rig's gonna be sat. That's the opening gambit. Let's hope it works. Two down, 2 to go. Just dropped the other 2 rods. There's a lovely, lovely feature out there. Make sure you strap that boat back, Lewyn. You've got a habit of losing boats, unlike me. And yeah, basically, obviously off of the barrage, you've got the rocky bit, and then you've got a shelf that's at 18 foot, which I'd say is about 2 rod lengths, and then it drops down into 21 foot after that. And that shelf has got lots of bigger, harder patches on it in amongst the silt. Screams carp, that proper. And yesterday we'd noticed that similar area on the drone. There was a load of cloud coming off of that zone, exactly where we've got the halo pole out there. So yeah, these 2 feel like they're in a really good zone out there at the minute, which is nice. So yeah, we've picked our spots. I'll commit to them 2 now, them 2 halo poles, and all I do is just build on that by baiting it every day, every morning, every evening. So obviously once we get the rods in tonight, I'll go back out there, rebait it, and then just do the same process again. So yeah, these 4 rods are now fishing. Oh, wicked. Well, we're just dropping Lewyn's rods out. Well, they're all Lewyn's, to be honest with you. The minute one busts off, it'll be him that picks the rod up. But yeah, we're just, with these ones, we're just going to drop them out with the bait boat. Just like little trap fishing, really, doing something different than what we're doing with the other 4 rods behind me. We're going to put 3 of his out and just sort of drive the boat around and sort of build up a picture of, you know, what it looks like in front of our swim. Already we're finding something out to the left here. It's shallow water, a fair distance out. So I'm going to try and find the end of that this time, and yeah, fish off of that. So just looking for any sort of features really. So yeah, we're going to drop 3 out like that. Not a lot of bait. We're going to fish 2 with tigers and hemp, just a scoops full in each, and then we're going to fish a bollocks rig with boilies over the top. We'll probably fill both hoppers up for that one, so that's the plan. Let's hope it works. Whoa, whoa. Take him. Going?
Yeah.
Well, where's your life jacket?
It's in my bigot.
Hey, mate. Oh. No. No.
I had tension on it, and then it just how it popped.
No.
Brilliant. That's just brilliant.
No. Oh, savage.
Had it like that, looked like that.
Yeah, no, you didn't do anything wrong, mate.
Pop, I felt it just pop out. Oh well, guess we got to get back out.
It's a bite, isn't it? We've had a bite, so
Yeah,
you've got to look at the positives, definitely. Gutting though, but
called it though. Cool.
yeah, you did call it. Yeah, you said that one would go. Proper ramp round, didn't he?
Do you wanna do the
Wicked
rest?
bite.
Do you wanna-
Oh yeah, I'll do the horrible bit.
yeah.
Give it here. Oh, you're still sharp though.
Well, well, well.
Damn! Damn!
Absolutely gutting, but it was something to go off of and a great sign to get a bite so early. So it was back out into the boat, into the rain to reposition the rod.
Okay, well, we've got about 3 or 4 more hours left of daylight. So obviously that's the only amount of fishing time we've got left as well. So I'm going to get some bait ready for this evening. And I'm thinking of putting a bit of liquid over these boilies that I'm going to put out in front of the pole. So I'm going to put another 5 kilo in front of the left pole, another 5 kilo in front of the right pole. And I'm just going to soak them in some switch liquid food. God, that is smelly. That stinks. So yeah, just basically coated them over. So give them a coat, and hopefully by this evening all that liquid would have soaked into them. And I'm just thinking, obviously where we've not got the rods out of a night time, just adding that little bit more smell might get them into the swim a bit more, so that when we put the rods out tomorrow morning, I'll obviously do the same thing again, put 5 kilos out and another 5 kilos on the other pole, but I won't soak them in liquid food. I'll just leave them plain in the hope that, you know, that might, you know, it's just that little bit of difference, I guess. More smell in the night time, you know, just more attraction coming off of these baits in the evenings whilst there's no rigs out there, just to give them that confidence to obviously have a feed when we put another 5 kilos out the next morning. That's my thinking behind it anyway, just trying to get fish to sit in the swim, feed in the swim confidently, and hopefully that keeps them there for when we start picking them off, hopefully. And hopefully it stops raining, yes, hence why we're underneath this cover in a minute. Right, so that's that 5 kilos done. Right, if you pour the rest of that bowl in there, dude. Stick him in there.
Well, it didn't stop raining. In fact, it was relentless all day and into the evening. The rods remained quiet and it was soon time to reel in again, unfortunately.
Right, last rod reeled in, and that is it. So we'll get this one in. We've left the rod that we obviously had the bite on today being the last rod, but we've got something to go off of, you know, even though obviously it's a bit gutting that we've lost one today, we've still got something to go off of. So we'll rebait both of the poles out there with that bait that we obviously soaked in the liquid earlier on today, in the hope that come tomorrow morning they'll be ravenous on the spot because they've had a good feed tonight. Right, that is 4 rods back on the zones, and in front of them poles is rock hard. Now I'm surprised that this left-hand pole's rock hard because I had a bit of a calamity last night. Most people wouldn't admit this, but I don't care. Yeah, so we've gone out there last night, absolutely pouring with rain. I'm not too sure how much footage we'll get out of it because it was lashing down. We got absolutely drenched. And as we sort of headed off out that way, and we couldn't see the reflection on the pole. I should have lit it up really from the bank before I'd gone out there because they light up them halo poles, and I forgot to do it. It's raining, is what it is. Gone out there and I was like, oh, the pole's to the left, the pole's to the left. So as we've gone out towards the pole, it's obviously lashing with rain. I've got the head torch on. I'm like, right, it's quickly lashing the bait in, lashing the bait in, lashing the bait in, and then that pole's out there. So I've gone right, okay? Well, we kept going right. I'm thinking, where's this wall gone? Because obviously we've got this huge wall. I'm thinking, we're going too far here, like. And there was a reflector in the light that we could just see in the distance that I thought was our halo pole. So we just kept going. And all of a sudden that reflector grew into a massive one. And next minute, we're up that end of the pond. And I'm like, how are we at the other end of the pond? What's happened, it took us ages to work it out. It wasn't until I got back last night and like 1 AM jobby, ding, oh, I know what I've done. We've gone round the back of the pole. I've obviously baited the back of the pole and gone right. That's why we've ended up that end of the lake. Oh, Jesus. So, in other words, we're spreading the bait about a little bit. We've baited the back of the pole now, it's baited the front. But anyway, you know, it's one of them. You just got to laugh it off. But yeah, like I said, I've dropped in front of that pole and it's a lot firmer out there than what it was yesterday when we started fishing on that. It was quite really sticky and horrible, and as the leads went down, it sort of, and you know, I think dropping that liquid down there makes a massive difference, definitely, especially when you've got that tainted silt out there, and putting liquid on it gets them all, you know, in there, feeding on hard on the bottom. And yeah, that's obviously worked for us, because as I've dropped them leads down out there in front of that pole, they have slammed down. So today's the day. Today has to be the day, please be the day. Dinner. I won't carry on anymore with that, but look at that, that looks good. That looks lovely. So we are having cottage pie tonight, and what do you have with cottage pie? Macaroni cheese. Someone thought it was cauliflower cheese, didn't they, Lewyn? That was me that actually got that wrong. I don't know how I picked up macaroni cheese over cottage cheese, but that's the way this trip's gone. Are you surprised? No. Today's been quiet, really quiet, and now feels like the best time, definitely, because the wind's died off and they're fizzing out there, and they're fizzing like around the pole. Not fizzing at the back of the pole, thank God, but they are fizzing in front of it and just off to the right where we've got the other rod. So yeah, it's looking good. It's feeling like any minute now that we're going to get one, to be honest. It's got warmer. The wind's on the switch up at the moment. It's now going that way. It just feels really, really good in the swim. So dinner time for us. We're hoping it's going to be dinner time for them and all.
As we watched the sunset on this awesome reservoir, it looked absolutely bang on. And as we reeled in, we got the rod sorted for the final time. We really needed one last push. The anticipation was high and it really felt like it was going to happen.
Okay, well, we've got up mega early this morning. This is going to be our very last full day, so got to go at it. It's 20 to 7 at the minute. Yeah, we did hear them last night as well, so it's gutting we can't fish in the night here, to be honest with you, but it's one of them things, you've got to stick to the rules, haven't you? So today's the last day. Let's hope this early start is what brings us a fish. Hey, mate? Yeah, Lewyn's still waiting for his very first French carp. Let's hope today's a day. Okay, right, we are just about in the zone. Swing him out, swing him out. Okay, then back this way, that's it, that's it, that's it. Drag down, drag down, drag down, drag down. Boom, he's down. Sweet. Nice, good skills.
Alright, that's a bite.
Huh?
We got one.
Finally, Lewyn is playing his first French carp. The right hand has busted off. You come down here a little bit, mate. So you're by the water's edge. You've got wellies on, so you're all right. Careful, mate. That's it. That's it. If he's gone over, mate, we need to move now, really. Has he gone over? Right, get us a rod a sec. That's right, I've got it. Right, get over the other side of these rods. All right, mate. There you go, yeah. Sweet, right. Keep bending that rod, okay? Sweet, you've got me long landing it here. Ready for it. There he is. Oh yeah, he looks all right. He looks all right. Let him go there, that's it. I'm nervous. Oh, I'm so nervous, it's unreal. Jesus.
Angry.
Yeah, he is angry. God, my heart's racing.
So nervous.
Oh, I wish I knew I had my waders out the van. I haven't got time to get them. Yeah, probably. Just watch them other rods. Just keep playing in this way. Should be alright. That's it, mate. You're doing it. Yeah, sweet. Keep bringing them that way. As his head's up, he's mine. Oh, never. All right, keep that rod up nice and high, mate. There he is there. Here he is. Come on, Lewyn. Come on, Lewyn. Come on, Lewyn. Yes! Get in there, mate. Oh. Yes, Lewyn. Oh, mate, he's gorgeous. Yeah, he's got it all going on. He is epic. Oh, he's wicked. He is a belter.
Well,
Mate, you are the man. Oh, happy days. And it's in the morning as well, so half hour of light. Half hour or so and it'll be light, so we'll get him out and have a look at him. Well done, man. Good skills. Oh, beautiful. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that thing, man.
Oh,
that is what I'm talking about. Oh, mate.
Look at him.
Oh, he is special. Special carp. Scores on the doors then, Lewyn. It is £30.10. Well done, man.
It'll do.
Mate,
Very
that will
nice.
definitely do. He is an awesome carp. Good skills. Yes. Well done, mate. Right, we'll pop him in the sling and we'll have a look at him once it's daylight.
He looks so much bigger.
Oh, he is cool.
He is sick though.
He is proper cool. Right,
Yeah.
you lift your amazing looking prize, mate. This is unbelievable. What a carp. No one has worked harder this trip than Lewyn and myself and Ben behind the camera. Definitely been one of the hardest trips I have ever had abroad, where it has been grueling, and to have had this carp this morning, look at that thing. That is absolutely incredible. Oh, I actually forgot to turn the alarm on this morning for this bite, so luckily I had the clutch going, and Lewyn, you did an amazing job getting him in. What a creature. That is a trip maker for us. Like I said, might not be the biggest fish in the world, but that is one of the most special carp we have ever caught. Oh, amazing. Well done, mate. Well done. Right, slip him down.
Just don't let him go.
Sweet. Ah. No better buzz, there really isn't. The buzz is real. Wow. Right, go on then. Lift him up. This is his other side. Such a gorgeous carp. Look at that. Yes, Lewyn. Yes, mate, that is what I'm talking about. Oh, wow. I'm so glad it's happened for us. Just incredible. Wow. Lost for words, literally lost for words. This means so much, this fish, it really does. Oh, wow, right. You ready to release him, mate? Oh, he's so cool. Look at that on him there as well. Oh, look at him. That is magnificent. Yes!
Yeah, boy.
Get in there! Yes!
Amazing.
Well, one of the cool things that I've been lucky enough to obviously use on this trip is my brand spanking new 290X boat. Now, we've got a whole new range of boats out at the moment, and I've got to admit, the features that we've changed and a few tweaks and stuff that we've done to this boat has made it far, far better to use. Now, one of the features that, well, the main feature that I love about is the width that you've got in this boat. Now, compared to the boats that I used to have, you've definitely not got this amount of room. Now, this is a 290. I've always used the 320, and I can get so much more in this boat than what I did with my old 320, which is mad because I didn't think that would be the case because of obviously the extra width now you've got in the boat. We've also got features where we've reinforced, obviously you can see on the back plate there the two sides, so that's all been reinforced. You've still got the echo sounder plates both sides, as well as obviously the back plate for your outboard. Now, this time round I decided to use the aluminium deck. Now, because I've got Littleton with me, the alley deck gives you more stability within inside the boat. It's easier to get the water out as well, so that you can scoop the water out of it. And then with the air deck, The benefits you get with that is obviously it's a lot kinder on your knees when you're knelt down, plus you can put the fish obviously inside the boat once you've landed it as well, which you obviously can't do with an alley deck. So they're the two sort of benefits that you get with both options of the decks inside. Now we've also included net brackets as well, so if it's obviously windy you can strap your net down to the boat, and when you're going out there it's not going to blow off of the boat anymore, so that's another lovely little benefit with these boats. And then with the keel at the front as well, we've increased the height of that, which gives you loads more stability when it gets windy out on these massive reservoirs like we are now. I am thoroughly impressed with this boat, definitely. It's got a load more benefits than what my old boat had, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to the many adventures I'm going to be having in this boat. The rig that caught us that fish this morning then, I'm well known for it, especially fishing abroad, and that is the bollocks rig. Now the rig itself is just like a multi-rig with spliceable hook link material. Now that's quite easy to set up, shown that quite a bit before, but what I get asked about most is how you set up the actual hook bait side of it. So what you want to do is get a couple of 18mm hook baits. For this instance it's the switch, that's the only bait that we brought out here. French fish absolutely love the switch out here, so I would never ever come abroad without a bag of switch in the van, definitely. And how you set it up is with an 18mm wafter boilie, you need the red needle, which is quite important for constructing this part of the hook bait, because the red needle at the very bottom, not only is it the thickest needle that we do, but at the very bottom of the needle it's tapered, so it's got a nice thick section right where you actually hold the needle. So you pierce the boilie and then you feed the 18mm right the way down to the very bottom onto that tapered bit. You then take the boilie off, spin it back round, and then force it down onto that tapered bit again, so that you end up with a nice decent hole in the centre of the boilie. You then get some snag leader. I'm using the 50-pound stuff. So you want to cut a bit, 3 or 4 inches of that off, pass it through the boilie, it will go nice and easy into that larger hole. That's the reason why we use a tapered bit, is just to get that leader material right the way through the boilie. You then blob the end, and you want to blob it a fair amount because you want a decent sort of hat sat on the end of that leader, so that once you've blobbed it off, pull it away from the lighter and then bring the boilie down, and that acts as a bait stop at the very end part of that leader. You then feed on a size 11 ring swivel, and I get it the right way round. You want obviously the swivel section on, which leaves you the ring at the bottom of the swivel. You then repeat the process with the 18mm boilie, same thing again, straight onto that bit of leader, and then you want to push the 2 hook baits together and then cut off around about 10mm of the leader. You then blob 5mm of that section and then blob it off, and then pull the 2 hook baits apart. So what that leaves you with is about 4 or 5mm of leader in between the swivel, and that allows for swelling, and it obviously gives it that movement as well. And then nice and easy onto your multi-rig, onto the rig, then you just feed that onto the loop over the top of the hook, and then trap it off with the flipper section. So that's how I construct my hook bait side of things when it comes to the bollocks rig. The hook, that's a size 2 wide gate beak, and then that is the new Naturals flipper. That's what traps it off in place. The material itself, that's a Naturals 50-pound splice. Then I've got a standard anti-tangle tungsten sleeve at the end, and then just a figure-of-8 loop knot at that end. Nice, easy, simple rig, but one that's very effective when you're coming abroad. So that's ready now to send back out into the pond. So let's get in the boat, get him back out there, and hopefully catch ourselves another. Oh, stay there. God.
Good start.
It is a good start. Well, for it to finish right where it started then, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit broken by it all. The whole trip has been, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the toughest trips I have ever done abroad. And I'd like to think that this film will put into perspective the sort of effort that you have to go through just to get that one bite. And I'm so glad that we did get that one bite as well, not only for Litland obviously catching his first French carp, just because I feel like we deserved it with the amount of effort that we had to put into this film, or this trip. Just, yeah, I hope that comes across on camera and gives you a little bit of the reality of what this fishing is actually like, because obviously last year when you would have seen our film abroad, where we did the public lake thing, we made it, I feel, look very, very easy compared to what this trip's been. So I'm hoping that that's going to shed light onto, you know, the effort that does have to go into these trips. But even though I'm going home a little bit more broken from it, I've still had one of the best times ever out here. It's been amazing. You've enjoyed it, haven't you? Yeah. Well, you've had nothing to do, so you would enjoy it. But, you know, just to see his little face after landing that carp, just, you know, memories to last a lifetime, definitely. So even though I've said how hard it's been and, you know, these trips are tough, they are so rewarding when you get moments like that. So hope you've enjoyed this film. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Fox YouTube channel, and we shall see you on the next one.